Story 45.
Sir John and the Bear Brothers.
Words we know.
Curious, actually, normally, cover, uncover, discover, birth, first, damage, other, brother, another, strange, stranger, strangest, respond, realize, reply, orange, bread, mint, weather, feather, leather, believe, awkward, louder, invite, smoothly, enjoy.
New sound.
As in bird. G as in guess.
Special words.
Delicious. Brisbane. Naturally. Cafe. Autumn. Parents. Menu. Comfortable. Sir John and the Bear Brothers. One autumn, when the leaves were falling from the trees, Patrick Bear and his brother Guy were travelling on the bus into Brisbane City. When they got off the bus, Guy slipped and bumped into Patrick. Both of them fell onto another bear who had got off just before them. He was carrying a guitar and had long black hair. "I'm sorry, sir," said Guy. The Bear Brothers felt very embarrassed. They helped the dark-haired bear to get up. Luckily his guitar was not damaged. "Are you hurt?" asked Patrick. "I don't think so," replied the guitarist. "Can I get you a cup of tea or coffee?" asked Guy. At first, the long-haired bear wasn't sure whether he wanted to talk with the strangers. But he didn't know anyone else in Brisbane, and he was glad to have someone to talk to. The long-haired bear normally worked in Sydney with a band called Sir John and the Palace Guards. He was thirsty. Besides, he thought, these bears might be able to guide me to a good place to stay. "Well, okay," he said with a smile. They chose an outdoor cafe nearby. "I'm Guy, and this is my brother Patrick," said Guy as they settled down at their table. "Hi, guys," responded the other bear. But he laughed as soon as he'd said this because he suddenly realized that one of the guys was actually called Guy. Patrick and Guy waited for him to tell his name, but their guest just looked at the menu. Patrick couldn't wait any longer and asked, "What's your name?" "Oh, I'm Sir John," he replied. The Bear Brothers couldn't believe that any parents would call their baby Sir John, but they thought it would be rude to say so. "Tea, coffee, or orange juice, Sir John?" asked Guy, although he felt stupid calling his guest Sir John. "Oh, just call me Sir," answered Sir John in a friendly tone of voice. Guy didn't know what to think of this. He took a guess that Sir would drink coffee and looked around for the waiter. After they'd ordered drinks, Patrick was frowning. "Did you notice what a dirty shirt the waiter was wearing?" he whispered. Guy looked at the waiter, then nodded. But Sir just stared at Patrick, amazed that he would care about such a thing. Then, to his horror, Patrick realised that Sir's shirt wasn't very clean. Patrick squirmed. He hadn't meant to embarrass his guest. There was a moment's uncomfortable silence. Then Guy started talking about the weather. After a while, they had all relaxed again. "How long are you staying in Brisbane?" asked Patrick. "Maybe a week," answered Sir John. After more coffee and more talk, the Bear brothers invited Sir to their home for dinner. While Guy was cooking, Sir sat on the kitchen table. Patrick couldn't believe it. He desperately wanted to say, "Get off our table! Nobody sits where people eat." But he bit his lip and kept quiet. It wasn't polite to tell a guest how to behave. But Sir had noticed Patrick's angry face. Sir felt uncomfortable and mumbled, "Maybe I should be getting along now." Patrick felt guilty for upsetting someone they had invited. "No, make yourself at home," he said with a red-faced smile. Sir started playing his guitar. At first he sang softly, then got louder and louder. The Bear brothers just stared. Sir John really enjoyed Guy's soup. He gobbled it down, making quite a lot of noise. Then he lifted his bowl and drank what was left. "Delicious," he said, holding up the bowl for some more. Guy and Patrick hadn't even started theirs yet. Some things about Sir were charming, but at other moments the Bear brothers felt disgusted. That evening, things went more smoothly. They all liked playing cards. They played 13 games. Then, because it was late, they asked Sir to stay the night. But when Guy and Patrick were trying to get to sleep, Sir had the radio on and was humming along. Next morning, the Bear brothers felt they had had enough of Sir, but he was still asleep. It would be impolite to wake him. He didn't stir till lunchtime. Guy was making some eggs on toast. "Smells good," remarked Sir as he walked into the kitchen, without his shirt on. This was too much for Patrick. "How dare you behave like this?" he blurted out. "Nobody comes to lunch with a bare chest." Sir looked shocked. He was hurt that his new friends didn't seem to like him any more. "But where I live, bears often walk around with no shirt on," he explained softly. At first the Bear brothers couldn't believe their ears. Then they realised that their way of doing things wasn't the only way. They had always thought everybody lived like them. Now all three had learned something new. Patrick felt bad. He had upset his guest. He sat on the floor and shook his head. "I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me," he groaned. Sir, who was actually a kind bear, helped Patrick up. He offered him some of Guy's coffee. Guy didn't mind. He was getting used to Sir now. In fact, it was exciting to be discovering new ways of doing things. After this, the three became good friends. Sir invited the Bear brothers to his place in Sydney. That winter, they went to Sydney for 3 days. Sir John and the palace guards lived on the 3rd floor of a block of flats. The palace guards were all blonde bears who played guitars, but by now nothing surprised Guy and Patrick. They just relaxed and enjoyed their stay.
Words we've used.
Brisbane, discover,
above, delicious, curious, cafe, naturally, actually, autumn, parents, menu, comfortable, world, work, special, couple, trouble, touch.
Some new words.
Dirt, firm, stir, skirt, third, thirst, guide, vague, plague.